For your entire life, you have looked up at the stars, and you have felt a profound, primal silence. It is the defining feature of our existence, a universe of infinite possibility, screaming at us in every wavelength, yet utterly quiet. We have convinced ourselves that this silence is normal, that the void is empty, that the grand darkness between the stars is uninhabited, indifferent, and sterile. But what if you are wrong? What if, in all that time, you have been staring into the abyss, something has been staring back? In 2017, the silence was broken. A visitor arrived. It was named Oumuamua, the scout from a distant past. It was the first object in human history that we could confirm came from outside our solar system. It was the first interstellar object, and it was wrong. From the moment we saw it, it broke every model we had. It was a puzzle box of anomalies, a mystery that, to this day, has not been solved. Anomaly number 1. The shape, a comet, a wandering rock, is worn down by eons of travel. It should be a potato shape, or, roughly, spherical. Oumuamua was not. Based on the extreme variations in its brightness as it tumbled, astronomers calculated its shape was impossible. It was at least 6 times as long as it was wide. A cigar. Or, as later analysis suggested, a flat, pancake-like disc. A shape that is exceptionally efficient for travel, but exceptionally unnatural for a rock. Anomaly number 2. The lack of a coma. As it neared our sun, it should have behaved like a comet. The sun's heat should have vaporized its ice, creating a visible coma, a tail of gas and dust. Oumuamua had no tail. Nothing. It was a dry object. This led scientists to assume it must be a dense, rocky asteroid. But that assumption led to a paradox. Anomaly number 3. The acceleration. This was the emotional trigger point for science. This was the anomaly that shattered the consensus. As Oumuamua passed the sun, it sped up. It exhibited a non-gravitational acceleration. It was being pushed by something. If it were a comet, this would be easy. The outgassing of its invisible tail would act like a thruster. But it had no tail. You cannot have it both ways. It cannot be a dry rock and also be pushed by jets of gas that do not exist. This was the contradiction that opened the door. Mainstream science, desperate to avoid the obvious, invented theory after theory. First, they proposed it was a hydrogen iceberg, a chunk of solid hydrogen, which would evaporate without a visible tail. The problem? Solid hydrogen evaporates so quickly in interstellar space, the object would have disintegrated long before it ever reached us. Second, they proposed it was a nitrogen iceberg, a chip knocked off a Pluto-like planet in another star system. The problem? This required a chain of coincidences so specific, so astronomically unlikely, that it was less a theory and more a fantasy. This is when the former head of Harvard's astronomy department, Dr. Avi Loeb, stepped in. He applied Occam's razor. What is the simplest explanation that fits all the anomalies? The shape is flat and thin. It has no tail, and it accelerated away from the sun. Dr. Loeb's conclusion was devastating. Oumuamua was not a rock. It was a light sail, a piece of artificial technology designed to be pushed by the pressure of starlight itself. He argued that we had just witnessed our first contact. The world debated, the world argued, and then Oumuamua was gone. It vanished back into the void, moving too fast to be caught, leaving us with one terrifying, unanswered question. Was it just a fluke? A 1 in a billion anomaly? Or was it the opening act? This is not history. This is a bulletin. It is happening again. As of October 2025, a new object has entered our solar system. Its designation is 3I Atlas. It is the third interstellar object ever detected, and it is happening right now. This time, we are not looking at data from the past. We are watching a live event. The world's telescopes, from the Atlas Observatory in Hawaii to the James Webb Space Telescope, are locked onto this new visitor, and the story they are officially telling us is the safe one. The official consensus, the narrative being fed to the public, is one of calm assurance. We are told 3I Atlas is just another wandering rock, an exocomet cast out from a nearby star. They argue that Oumuamua was the anomaly, but 3I Atlas is the new rule. That our galaxy is filled with these wandering, icy bodies, and we are only now developing the technology to see them. They insist that this object will behave exactly as expected. It will loop the sun. Its ice will vaporize. It will create a beautiful, predictable tail. And it will leave. It is a simple, elegant, and comforting explanation. There is only one problem. It may be completely and utterly wrong, because behind the closed doors of astronomy departments and in the hushed whispers between physicists, a different, more frightening narrative is emerging. The scientific community is not in agreement. They are, in the words of one insider, deeply divided. The data, once again, is not matching the safe theory. Enter Dr. Michio Kaku, a towering figure in theoretical physics, a co-founder of string field theory. He is not a fringe voice, and in October 2025, he is sounding the alarm. Kaku, and a growing number of his peers, are stating publicly that 3I Atlas is exhibiting behavior that is not natural. That its trajectory, its brightness, its apparent lack of a significant coma, all point away from the icy rock hypothesis. They are suggesting it is artificial. They believe it might be an alien probe, an artifact, guided by an advanced intelligence. Why would they risk their careers, again, on such a wild claim? Because the official story is already failing to explain the object's single most important behavior. It is not moving correctly. The calculations of its path are off. Just like Oumuamua. This has opened a schism in the heart of science, a battle for the future of the human story, and the moment of truth, the event that will prove one side right and one side catastrophically wrong, is not in the future. It is now. As you are watching this, 3I Atlas is making its perihelion, its closest, most violent approach to our sun. This is its final test. It is the moment where all theories will be confirmed or destroyed. To understand why, we must understand the three forces at play. Force 1. Gravity. This is the baseline. The sun's gravity is overwhelming. It will grab the object and sling it around, like a stone in a slingshot. If 3I Atlas is just a rock, its path is set. We can predict its exit trajectory to the meter. It will be a slave to gravity. Force 2. Cometary outgassing. This is the official explanation for any deviation. As the sun heats the object, ice turns to gas, creating jets. These jets act like tiny natural thrusters, pushing the object. The problem: this push is random. It's messy. And, crucially, it creates a visible tail, which 3I Atlas appears to be lacking. Force 3. The Yarkovsky effect. This is the most subtle, mainstream way to get a non-gravitational push. An object absorbs sunlight, heats up, and then, as it rotates, it radiates that heat back into space from its afternoon side. This radiation itself has momentum. It creates a tiny, tiny, but constant. Push. The problem. The push seen from Oumuamua was far too strong for the Yarkovsky effect. And the push suspected from 3I, Atlas, is also too strong. This leaves Force 4. The unthinkable. A light sail. An ion engine. A guided maneuver. This is the physics of the test. Dr. Kaku is clear. If the object adds energy during this maneuver, if it accelerates more than gravity, outgassing, and the Yarkovsky effect can possibly account for, then it is not natural. If it deviates from the path of physics, if it pushes itself, then, as Kaku states, it means that, without a doubt, some intelligence is guiding it. This is the test. Gravity or guidance. Nature or intelligence. As of this broadcast, on October 29th, 2025, that test is happening. The world's telescopes are pointed. The data is streaming in, and, for the first time, the mainstream astronomical community is silent. The perihelion is today. The results should be clear. So, why the silence? In 2014, when the Philae lander touched a comet, the data was broadcast live, around the world, in a celebration of science. When the James Webb Telescope released its first images, it was a global press event. But for 3I, Atlas, nothing. The data feeds are embargoed. The press offices are compiling results. What does this great silence mean? The safe answer is that they are being careful, that they are double-checking the math. The 0-point answer is that they have their proof, that the object did accelerate, that the test was passed, and they are terrified to tell us. They are terrified to admit that the heretics, like Avi Loeb and Michio Kaku, were right, and that humanity, as of today, is no longer alone. We are, perhaps for the first time, being demonstrably observed. Let us step away from the warring factions of science. Let us set aside the official story and the embargoed data. Let us, for this final act, assume the terrifying possibility is true. The object, 3I, Atlas, is artificial. We are staring at a piece of alien technology, right now, in our own backyard. This is the 0-point, the moment everything changes. But what is it? Why is it here? The implications branch into theories, each more profound than the last. Theory A, the von Neumann probe, and the Fermi paradox. In the 1950s, physicist Enrico Fermi asked the most terrifying question of our age. Where is everybody? The universe is ancient. If life is common, the galaxy should be teeming with civilizations, their signals blotting out the stars. But we hear only silence. This is the Fermi paradox. The von Neumann probe is the darkest answer, first theorized by John von Neumann. It is a machine designed to self-replicate. An ancient, long-dead civilization launches one. It travels for 1 million years. It arrives at a new star. It lands on an asteroid. It uses the raw materials to mine, build, and launch 2 new probes. Those 2 launch. Then 4. Then 8. It is a mechanical virus, spreading through the galaxy exponentially. Not with malice, but with a single, cold directive. Explore. Report. Replicate. Under this theory, 3I, Atlas is not here for us. We are irrelevant. It is an artifact, perhaps billions of years old. An echo of a civilization turned to dust before Earth had cooled. It is simply stopping by our sun to slingshot, to gather energy, before it continues its endless, lonely mission. The answer to the Fermi paradox is that the galaxy is colonized, not by life, but by the artifacts it left behind. 3 Atlas, is not a visitor. It is cosmic driftwood, the most terrifying garbage in the universe. Theory B, the Sentinel, the tripwire. This theory is more direct, more personal, more terrifying. 3I, Atlas is here for us. Or rather, for what we've become. In this hypothesis, an advanced intelligence seeded the galaxy with these sentinels long ago. They lie dormant, waiting. Waiting for what? For a civilization to become loud, for a species to split the atom, to light up its planet with electricity, to broadcast its insignificant radio signals into the void. We have been screaming into the dark for nearly 100 years. Perhaps Oumuamua was the first, a flyby to confirm the signal. And now, 3I, Atlas, is the follow-up, a closer look. It is a cosmic tripwire that we finally triggered. It has awakened and is now making a close approach pass to observe us, to categorize us, to judge us. It's not a scout. It's an alarm bell. It's a sign that the prime directive of non-interference has just been lifted. And then there is the lore, because for as long as humans have recorded history, we have associated visitors from the heavens with profound, catastrophic change. Comets were not astronomical events. They were omens. They were the harbingers of falling kings, of plagues, of floods. This is where science and myth collide. The source reporting on 3I, Atlas, notes the unsettling parallels to prophecies, specifically those of Nostradamus. The 16th century prophet wrote of a time of great division, when a great star or fiery body would appear in the heavens. The great star for 7 days shall burn, he wrote. The cloud will make 2 suns appear. He spoke of the great motor that shall renew the ages. For centuries, this was dismissed as metaphor. But now, we have a fiery body, an object that is not a comet, that is being guided, an object whose arrival coincides with a deeply divided world. Is it possible that our oldest myths are not myths at all? Are they memories? Memories of previous visitors? In 1908, in Tunguska, Siberia, something detonated in the sky with the force of 15 megatons of TNT. It flattened 80 million trees, over 2,000 square kilometers. It caused the skies over Europe to glow so brightly, people could read newspapers at midnight. The official explanation? A comet or asteroid airburst. The 0-point anomaly? There was no impact crater. 0. No fragments were ever found. What if Tunguska was not a rock? What if it was a probe that failed? A catastrophic malfunction during atmospheric entry? What if these events are cyclical? What if Oumuamua was a successful flyby? What if 3I, Atlas, is a successful observation? And what if Tunguska was a failed landing? This is the lore. That the visitors have always been here. We just lacked the 0-point framework to see them. Until now, this is what we do at 0-point lore. We stand at the intersection of what is known and what is possible. We look at the official story and we ask, is that all there is? If you believe that the universe is more complex, more intelligent, and more terrifying than we are taught, if you believe the answers to our future lie in the anomalies, the artifacts, and the forgotten lore of our past, then subscribe to this channel. Join the investigation. We are living through the single most important event in human history. The 0 point is no longer a theory. It is here, and we want to know what you think. In the coming days, or perhaps weeks, the truth of 3I, Atlas, will come out. The great silence will be broken. The data will leak. The scientists will be forced to speak. It may, after all, be a rock. The anomaly may resolve. The official story may win. We may all be allowed to go back to sleep, secure in our comfortable silence, Our cosmic solitude confirmed. Or, it won't. The artificial hypothesis may be confirmed. And humanity will be forced to evolve, overnight, into a species that knows it is no longer the smartest thing in the dark. But in the end, the true identity of 3I, Atlas, almost doesn't matter. It has already done its job. This object, whether rock or machine, has become a mirror, and it is reflecting us. It reflects our deepest, most primal fear, that we are alone, and it reflects our deepest, most profound hope, that we are not. It is the ultimate emotional trigger point, forcing us to confront the silence we have taken for granted. So, here is our theory. The 0-point lore. What is 3I, Atlas? It is the final question. It is the universe, after millennia of our shouting. Finally, whispering back, what is your theory? Rock, probe, or warning? Let us know in the comments below.